up, y'all? You rocking with Moochie, and this is Moochilla's Review. So hit the hammer, cause you came through. And what's up? I'm talking about the finale, Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 10. The name of the episode is Love and War. And overall, I thought Season 2 was a great season. It was very action-packed and interesting, a lot of twists and turns. And the best episodes of this season to me was Episode 8 and Episode 9. This Episode 10 tied it up in a little bow and gave it to us. And we're going to do a little breakdown, make a little bit of possible predictions for next season, maybe. So let's get into it. And this episode starts out with Dante and Monet, and they're on a yacht, and he gives her with a necklace, and she's smiling and happy to receive it. Monet tells him that you've been planning this all along, and he tells her a goal without a plan is a wish. So they both come to the agreement that Lorenzo has to go, and Dante says it shouldn't be either one of them that kills Lorenzo, that Cain needs to do it, and he wants Cain to do it to prove his loyalty. And she lets him know Cain will do whatever I say. So their plan is, while Monet and Dante are at Dante's penthouse, that's their alibi, Cain will be murdering his dad. So that will not cast any suspicion on them. Tariq gets up early, he gets prepared for court, and he calls Lauren's phone, and it's going straight to voicemail. And he has not been able to reach her since he told her to get out of town, and he's been kind of worried about that. Effie is laying in the bed, and she hears him making a phone call. She tells him, if you want to call a girl, just go ahead and leave a message. Tariq tells her it's not even like that, but he also tells her that he has been calling Lauren, and she has not returned his calls as of yet. And she's saying, don't worry, she probably ditched her phone, and she's all right. So Effie assures Tariq that Lauren is okay. Then Tariq tells Lauren about how his dad made preparations for his sister Yasmin to be adopted, and the adoption will be closed. So he's asked her if he is to go inside, could she look for his sister? And she says, you want me to do that? He says, yes, you're the only one that I trust besides my mother. Now you know this is music to Effie's ears. This is something that she's been wanting to hear from Tariq. So this, I believe, is going to bring the two of them closer. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Tariq Sachs and Davis McLean are headed into court, and he's briefed on who's the next witness, and they're saying it's Trace Weston. Tariq tells Davis McLean how Trace took some pills from Cain, and Cain took them to the hood and had them selling on the block, and Detective Ramirez took Trace and Braden back to the campus. So Sachs asks Tariq, where was he when this happened? And Tariq says, that's funny, you should ask that. He lets him know that he was with his snitching niece, Riley. And Davis McLean says, well, we can use her to collaborate his story. And he's like, no, we can't use her. My sister's not even speaking to me behind this. So they try to think of another way. And Sachs leaves to go upstairs, and Davis McLean tells him if Trace goes on the stand and mentions Cain, this is going to be bad for us. This is not a good look. Tariq mentions the fact that if Trace brings up Cain, Cain will think that Tariq put Trace up to it because Cain put the badge in his drawer in the dorm. And this is where Tariq discovers Davis McLean knew about Cain planting the badge in his dorm room. So Tariq is calling Braden, and the call is going straight to voicemail now. So he's not answering his phone. So Dante is still pulling out all the stops to win his family back. And he shows Zeke the airplane hangar with all the fancy cars and the jet. Zeke is impressed by it. He's impressed, and Zeke tells Dante that he has a hard time trusting Monet because she has lied to him. Zeke says, if you trust Monet, I have a hard time trusting you too. But Dante explains to Zeke that Monet has unconditional love for him, and she did what she did, and you have to understand that. You'll understand that when you have your own children. And then Dante gifts Zeke with a brand new white Porsche. And he is trying to win his child over through gifts. And it seems to be working at this moment, but he's still kind of unsure. And he tells him that it is a spot on him on the jet if he wants to come and leave with them. Monet tells Cain that her and Mecca wants him to kill Lorenzo. At this time, he's reluctant to even think about doing this. And he tells Monet that Drew and Diana will never forgive him. Monet reminds Cain of how he's not running the business, how he picked Drew over him, how Lorenzo picked Drew over him. She also mentions how Lorenzo got him beat up on the visit. And she also mentions how Lorenzo is rocking this Jesus piece that he bought for him, and he doesn't even respect him. But then she mentions, where's Tariq? And where's Tariq when I need him? And you know, this is like a thorn in Cain's side. Well, and she also explains how Tariq killed his father. And you know, you need to talk to Tariq because he had to kill his own father. And he's down with it now. Takes the gun and everything, and he's ready to just kill his father just because Tariq did it. He can't stand Tariq, y'all. So court starts out, and Jennifer Sullivan announces that Trace will not be able to testify due to him being ill. And she has someone else to testify to the same set of facts, and it's Brayden. Davis McClain objects. And he's like, yo, you can't sub in no witness like an NBA roster. The judge allows it with a stern warning. Tariq has a flashback and thinks about what he told Brayden in the dorm room about him actually killing Jabari and how he had to go. Brayden explains how Tariq and him are friends and how they previously were roommates at Choate. Then Jenny Sullivan, she don't even let him finish. She cuts him off, and Brayden then asks why. She asks Brayden why was he transferred from Choate, and Brayden explains how drugs were found in the room, and they assumed it was Tariq's. He explains that, and then they talk about when they came to Stansville, and then he explains also how Brayden asked Tariq to switch rooms because his dorm room was bigger. And then he also makes sure he says Tariq did not commit the murders of Professor Jabari Reynolds and Detective Ramirez. He also tells that he was dealing the drugs at both Stansville and Choate. And then it just throws off Jenny Sullivan's whole game plan. And then she asks him to provide proof, which he does, and he provides the papers that he signed for Course Correct from Simon Stearns Enterprises. Davis McClain, Sachs, Jenny Sullivan, they all gotta go to the judge to look at these papers, to check these jokers out and see if they legit. And you know what? They are. This gives grounds for them to dismiss Tariq on all charges. Because it's probable cause. The book was not about him, so there's no motive. And the whole case is over. Tariq is even shocked at how things went down. But your boy Brayden held it down for him. And he's a G. He's a G. He held it down like a G. Sachs go to try to apologize and console his boo Jenny Sullivan, and she ain't having it. Is he gonna get any more of that cookie? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And now Davis McClain, he's speaking about their victory in court, having a little celebration drink. And Tariq tells McClain that he wants to stop the adoption and get custody of his sister. Davis McClain tells him he needs to focus on his studies, graduate from Stansfield, and then pursue custody of his sister. Tariq says, since I can't talk to my mother, he says he knows that his mother will want him to get custody of his sister. Tariq also tells Davis McClain, I'm out of the game now. I'm not doing this anymore since I'm pursuing custody of my sister. And then he lets him know, you owe me a refund because Braden got me off. And McClain is like, what? My knuckle? Matt McClain is not like trying to get back no money. But Tariq does tell him about the double dipping he was doing. Davis McClain also tells him that Monet Tejada is not about to let him go. So you're going to have to continue to hustle. And, basically that's going to be your life. But he's standing strong with this, saying that he's going to be out of the game. And Davis McClain tells him that he likes his style and that he could be a lawyer. So he does like what he sees in Tariq. I believe he sees a little of himself in Tariq. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think you could see Tariq as a lawyer? Let me know. Ew. Jenny Sullivan goes to the bar and meets Cooper Saxe. She tells him that Lauren is dead. And Saxe asks Jenny Sullivan who was the shooter. She tells Saxe that she died in a car accident. Saxe tells Jenny, as much as you want to think Tariq has something to do with this, he was wearing an ankle monitor up until today. Plus, the ankle monitor didn't go off. Jenny was expressing how guilty she felt because Lauren died and Professor Milgram, a.k.a. Keylock. Saxe tells her that Professor Milgram committed the S word and that she was just messed up because how she felt about her career and how things not going right and what happened on the stand. He also confesses to Jenny that he thought about taking his own life when he framed James St. Patrick. Saxe tells Jenny she should take the L and tells Jenny if you go after Tariq again and it's another loss, you could derail your career as a prosecutor. Then Jenny says, at some point, walking away makes you become an accomplice. And then she tells Saxe, and you wonder why we can't be a real thing. Now, y'all know Saxe ain't had no real cookie. And he was messing with Pamela and the Fingal sisters. So you know he gonna try to make this right. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Monet congratulates Tariq on his case being dismissed. And she also tells him that keeping the white boy around was a good idea. She tells him that she needs his help and that he owes her. And she tells Tariq that she needs him to help kill Mecca. She wants Tariq to convince Kane that he has to kill Lorenzo and keep this going long enough because she's going to actually kill Lorenzo. Tariq mentions the fact that he's Dante Spears, mentions the fact that... My bad, I meant to say Dante. He has a tracking device, and she also mentions the fact that Dante Spears is an informant. So now that she knows he's a snitch, she really wants to put the hot ones in him and put him in the ground. She says once he does this, Tariq will be free and he can go out on his own. But my question is, do you think that Monet was being truthful or was she lying about really letting Tariq go? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So Lorenzo is talking to McVeigh, Dante's man, lets him know that there's a new spot where they're going to be doing the deliveries. And Monet meets Lorenzo at the bar, and Carlito's there. So Monet mentions, so we're going to be discussing our marital problems in front of all of these people. That was a perfect cue to get Carlito and McVeigh to leave. So they leave, and now she has Lorenzo alone to discuss everything with him and tell him the real deal. So Monet tells Lorenzo that she knows it wasn't him that shot at her and Zeke. She also tells Lorenzo that Mecca is Dante, Zeke's father. And she also tells him that they have to get Cain out because Mecca wants Cain to kill you. So she's letting him know, look, I'm not letting that happen. I'm gonna kill Mecca, and he's like, no, I'm gonna kill him because I'm the head of this family. And she says, no, I'm gonna do it because I can get closer. But I think he's telling her this because he still doesn't fully trust her after everything that has happened. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Monet lets Lorenzo know that she's devising a plan and Tariq is included, and she needs to have Drew and Diana on board, and he agrees to all of this. So they're going to make this happen. They're going to make this plan happen, and it's going to go down when they do the delivery tomorrow night. Lorenzo speaks to Drew and Diana, lets them know about the plan, and Diana is reluctant to believe the whole situation because Monet and Tariq is involved. Lorenzo lets her know that it's always family first and Cain's life is in danger and they have to get him out. So they go along with the plan, and Drew is going to reach out to Tariq. So Tariq and Brayden are back at the room, and Brayden's side of the room is all cleared out and packed up. Tariq finds out that his father is pulling him out of school to work with their business, their hedge fund business. And he also lets him know that they got a lot of street cred about the Course Correct, even though Course Correct is dead. Tariq tells Brayden that he's out of the game and he doesn't want to do this anymore, but he's telling him how lucrative it could be. And you know who shows up? Cain, your boy Cain. He shows up. He sees all of this. He gives Brayden his props that he was 10 toes down and he held it down for your boy Tariq. And Brayden leaves. Is this the last of Brayden that we see? Or do you think we are going to see more of Brayden, and it's going to be on a bigger scale with him and Tariq doing their hustling? Let me know what you think in the comments. So Tariq tells Cain he knows why he's here, his mother sent him, and about the plan about them killing Lorenzo. And right now, Cain wants to act like the big man. But in this case, in this scenario, Tariq is the big man. Because he actually kills his father, and he tells him, I did it to save my family, and you're going to have to do the same too. And if you don't do it, he's going to kill everybody in your family and then kill you last. And he's going to make sure you see it. So now I feel like Cain is getting a realization of this, and he's contemplating on doing this. And this is something that he really doesn't want to do. Also asked Tariq about Mecca, and he says your mother will handle Mecca. Out to Woody McClain. He did his thing in this role where you really look like you could feel the empathy for him wrestling with this decision on killing his father. So we have Detective Whitman, and he's in his office, and he gets a visit from your boy Zeke. Zeke wants to know, did y'all get anything about Professor Milgram? Professor Milgram. Is there any leads on it, or is it actually just suicide? And Whitman answers him that is a suicide and the case is closed. But if he has any information, his door is always open. So with that, Zeke leaves. And we're going to see where that leads to. Next, we have Sweeney. And he sees the picture with him in blackface. And Stephen Ott lets him know the real deal. Look, I know this is you because I know you from back in the day, so I know what you used to be doing. And he's like, well, we can't make this disappear. And where did you get this from? And how did you get this? And then we see your boy Tate. Councilman Tate says, yeah, that would be me. And he lets him know how he needs to step down. And it's best for him to step down before they make this public. And Stephen Ott tells him you can use any excuse. Somebody's sick, someone has cancer, or you have to step down for personal reasons. But they won't tell him about this picture. And then you can come back and run later for something. And he's not going for it. And he was like, how am I going to let this go down because of this smug, arrogant? And Tate was like, Nuka? And he says, you going to do this or we going to let the story come out. And we don't want the story to come out that way. So Tate is getting everything his way. And he's about to become a congressman. Ew. Let me find out Tate gonna be a congressman. Ew. So Cain meets up with Dante, a.k.a. Mecca. And they discuss how he is going to kill his father. But still, Cain has one last resort and he's still gonna try. Why don't we kill Tariq? After all of this is going on, he still wanna kill your boy Tariq. And he's like, well, you know, we're going to kill Tariq, but your father got to go too. And I need to know that you are really with me. So you're going to have to kill your father. You will be in control of New York with the distribution. You're going to be the new distro. And you could be the big man in New York. So Cain is letting him know he's gonna go along with the plan. Monet lets Cain know one more time, are you with me or are you with Lorenzo? And then she tells him that Zeke is not coming and Drew and Diana is not coming either. And Mecca wants to wait one more day to see if Zeke will come around. And she says, no, let's go now. And then we could send for Zeke later. He'll change his mind probably. Dante, a.k.a. Mecca, sets up to meet with Tariq. He's supposed to meet them at the hangar with the bag so that way they could leave town. And he calls him and he sees that he's still at the school, but we know he forwarded his phone and he sets things up. Meanwhile, Daniel Warren meets up with Tariq. He lets Tariq know that the adoption has been stopped and he's successful with that. And he officially has custody of his sister. But behind his back, he set up a meet with Cooper Saxe. Cooper Saxe is meeting with him and he lets him know that Norman is dead. He wants to see him face to face because he wants to see Tariq's reaction. And Tariq is really shocked and he looks like he's hurt that Norman is dead. He doesn't know how it happened. He doesn't know who had anything to do with it. And Saxe asked Tariq if Cain knows about Lauren. Tariq doesn't answer him because as far as Tariq knows, he doesn't think that he knows everything. So now Tariq knows that Lauren is dead. She died in a car accident. And he's kind of got his wheels turning on how this happened and if someone had a hand in Lauren's death. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So Davis McClane is at his office and it looks like he's setting up his conference office with a whole bunch of little knickknacks with his logo and stuff on it. And Saxe shows up and he tells them that we have blood on our hands and that we are probably responsible. You're probably responsible because Cain Tejada probably heard that tape with Lauren on it. Cooper Saxe also lets Davis McClane know that he's probably responsible for Carrie Milgram's suicide. And Davis McClane was like, I cared about her. I had nothing to do with that. I'm not responsible for that. And out of everything, Saxe is wrong about this because Davis McClain did not let Kane hear this tape. So he's like, no, you don't know what you talking about. I don't got blood on my hands. And you sitting here acting like you holier than thou. And you just as dirty as me because you tried to frame Jamie St. Patrick. So let's not go there. He gave him the real deal, but he still needs him around. So he wants to ask about, what are you doing about Theo Rollins? What is going on with this case? What have you come up with so far? And how much are you going to be able to get him out? This case that's most important to our firm, which is actually his brother, but Saxe doesn't know that. He lets him know that this is a guy that's actually innocent because the person that actually killed him is 4 inches taller than him. So now he has that. So when are you going to put this out? He says, I'm working on it. So now we see that Davis McClain's brother will have a possibility of getting out of jail. So Tariq is very upset that Lauren is dead. And he feels like it is all his fault because everyone either goes away or dies around him. And Effie assures him that, you know, you have me in your corner, you have Brayden, and we are with you, and her death is not your fault, and you tried to get her away. So now he's like, you know what, the best thing now for Yasmin is for her to be far away from me so she could stay safe, because I don't want what happened to Raina to happen to Yasmin. Then it cuts to this scene. We see Tasha in a cabin. She looks like she's doing some type of bookkeeping or accounting. And she's chilling right now. She's living the life, but she's alone. She's alone with just her work and thoughts about her children. And then she hears someone pull up in the driveway, and she texts Marshall Smith, and he tells her, no, it's not him in the driveway. Get your bag and go. But she finds out it's Tamika. It's Tamika, and she has a surprise for her. Now, Tasha's new name is Vanessa. And then she tells her, she wants to know if everything's all right. She's thinking something happened to Tariq or something. But everything's okay. And she sees her baby Yaz, and she runs to her. And now Yaz's name is Olivia. And she's taller than Tasha. But Tasha is so happy to see her. And Tamika makes sure Yaz knows her cover story, that her name is Olivia, her age, and what she likes, where she's from. And they are not supposed to talk about Tariq because they are asking about him, and he's not supposed to exist. She pulled a lot of strings to make this happen. So now, finally, Tasha and Yasmin are united, so they're together. Now, everybody's asking, why did Tasha leave without taking Yaz? She had to leave in haste, y'all. Do y'all remember? They was at the gravesite, and Tommy was going to come there and kill her, and Tariq felt like he sensed something wrong and had the witness protection people pick her up from the gravesite. That's why she had to leave right away without her daughter. This part, I felt like Tasha could sense that Tariq was close by in the other Suburban that was there with the tinted windows. And Tariq looked like he saw that she sensed he was there. And he was ready to get out and go hug his mother. At the end of the day, Tariq is still a mama's boy. But Saxe was like, no, no, no. They can't even know you exist right now. You can't go. And Tariq and Saxe have a sidebar conversation about Dante Spears. And he lets him know that he's a high-level informant and that his safety was so bad where they stopped him from re-entering the United States. And he is responsible for why a case was started against your father. But Tariq says he has a feeling about it, and that was that. Next, Tariq meets with Drew. They devise the plan. He lets him know what's the deal with the plan, and Drew shows up with 2 identical bags that look like the bag that Dante Spears had. And he lets them know they're going to play a game of 3-card Monte with the bags. So one of the bags is going to go with Lorenzo. Drew is going to take one bag. And the other bag with the stuff that Dante needs in it is going to be with Diana. And Drew wants to know, well, where are you going to put this bag? And Tariq says, the same place where y'all stole my drugs from. And he wanted to be about that. And Tariq, at this point, he don't care. Y'all know why he don't care? Because he got $2 million coming to him from Dante. So he don't even care about that money no more. He just want to get out the game, get his $2 million, and be out. And finish school. So Tariq stresses to Drew, do not tell Diana what's in the bag, because she can deny all accountability. So she can know nothing and have nothing to do with everything that's going on. And that's what he tells Drew. Drew meets up with Lorenzo. He gives Lorenzo the bag. And this game is about to begin. It's about to be on with this final pickup of the shipment. Drew has his bag in the car. He speaks with Diana, lets her know, look, Diana, do not go in this bag. And she's like, I know, I won't. I'm serious, Diana, do not go in this bag. Now, he should have told her exactly how Tariq said it for her not to go in this bag, because he knows how snoopy she is and how nosy she is. Anywho, we see Carlito, and he's following Drew. He's on the phone with McVeigh. He's telling McVeigh to keep an eye on Lorenzo. Then we get back to Detective Whitman, and Zeke Cross is back at the office talking to him, and Whitman is showing photograph proof of Monet on the street a couple of blocks away from Professor Milgram's home. Zeke sees this, but he covers for Monet, and he says, no, she was supposed to pick me up, but then I decided to go see Professor Milgram, and that's how he found her body. So that's where he goes with the story. But when he leaves there, he is so upset. The case is closed. It's going to be ruled as a suicide for now. And he leaves, and when he gets in that Porsche that's too small for him, with his tall self, he's in tears. Now, we get here, and Tariq and Kane are staked out by the warehouse, waiting for the shipment to come in, and waiting to make their move to kill Lorenzo. And he's talking to him. So Tariq asks Kane, you know my girl Lauren? And Kane was like, I thought you was smashing that Effie chick. He said, well, you keep your eyes to yourself, nigga. So Kane asked Tariq, what was in that bag that Mecca had? And Tariq was like, I don't know, and I don't care. Kane tells Tariq, you ain't risking your life for some shit you don't know. And he's like, why you always worry about what I'm doing? And you know what? He was absolutely right in this. I'm glad he said what he said. And Tariq already had his hand on the trigger. He was ready to put some hot ones in Kane if things went sideways. Y'all know Tariq can't fight yet, but you know he's good with his finger on the trigger. He's ready to put some hot ones in somebody in a second. So if Cain would have came at him, he would have shot him. I believe that. So Lorenzo comes, Mecca's people's there. They ready to do the shipment and get everything settled. So now they got to get out, and their plan is coming together to kill Lorenzo. The bag is there. Mecca's guy is there to make sure the shipment goes through, but he's actually there to get the bag. He spots the bag, so he's ready to get this bag, and he knows that Cain is coming there to kill Lorenzo. So they're all lined up. Cain and Tariq are in the cut. They're ready to kill Lorenzo. Cain is kind of nervous. You can see he's contemplating this whole thing, that if he's doing the right thing. And right before he's about to get in line to shoot him, Tariq lets Cain know that Lorenzo knows he's there, and you are not here to shoot your father. You're here to kill Mecca's people. And once again, Cain feels bad about being lied to. The shootout goes down. Lorenzo, Cain, and Tariq take out all of Mecca's people, and it's a done deal. They are done. So now Tariq confronts Lorenzo about them stealing the drugs. Lorenzo tells him, you deserve that. Cain wants to talk, and Lorenzo tells him in Spanish, we will handle our stuff at home. And now they looking for Drew, because Drew was supposed to be here. So now Cain has to go get Drew. Tariq has to meet up with Diana, because Diana actually has Mecca's bag with the stuff in it. And Cain seems kind of disappointed that he was left out of the loop. So Dante texts McVeigh to find out if the job is done, but he doesn't answer. So now he's kind of sensing that something is wrong, and he calls his contact for his informant situation and lets them know his cover has been blown and he has to be picked up ASAP. Monet is there with him at the penthouse waiting, and Dante tells Monet to text Tariq and let him know not to come to the hangar, come to the penthouse, and then they will go to the hangar from there and leave. And then he wants to know what's going on with Cain, and he lets him know that she lets him know that Cain is chopping up the body. So Drew goes to meet Everett. Everett says it's very important, and it's about that ID being missing and how his ID went off in a restricted area. But I remember that area being unlocked. You didn't have to use an ID to go in that area to go on that roof. That's why Lauren was using it as a safe place, because no one knew about it. So how all of a sudden they got like a swipe card there where they're going on the roof? So now I don't know how they added that there, because now it's going to show all sorts of traffic going